No, I won't go into that. No, it's not the end. It is the end, though, of our special
Yeah.
edition, the Jean-Claude Van Johnson, Jean-Pod Van Damme cast.
I can hear you get choked up.
I know.
It's been a long road, cowboy.
It has, man. It has. Wow. The end. Absolutely crazy. Welcome to the John Pod Van Dam cast. It is Jeff and John in studio to give you the finale. Man, kind of crazy.
What a ride.
We have been enjoying this. We are on episode 6 titled The World Needs Its Hero. And as you recall, we left off with that beautiful Nowhere to Run line at the end of episode 5. Now we find ourselves in Nowhere, California.
Is that a real place?
I'm not sure.
Just pretend you know.
Yeah, let's see. Actually, apparently the bridge to Nowhere is a bridge that was built in 1936 north of Azusa, California, in San Gabriel Hills. So it's just talking about the bridge to Nowhere.
I've heard of that.
And then there's a nowherecalifornia.com. Ideas from everywhere, voices from nowhere.
So it
Weird
apparently...
California.
Well, it's kind of a redundant statement.
Yeah. All right, that's it. I don't know.
Presumably not. We'll take a road trip to California one day.
Yeah, we'll figure it out on our Van Dam Mecca. So, here we are, Nowhere, California. And I believe he makes a line about, like, something about where the last time people looked for him.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's looked for me here in over 20 years.
Yeah. And they're at an old Blockbuster. They break into an old Blockbuster, hide out there, taping up their fists with VHS tape.
That was a really nice touch.
That was. And they start training. He's teaching her how to fight, teaches her how to knife fight.
How to throw controlled kicks.
Yep, how to throw controlled kicks and not kick people in the teeth. Then the next scene we see Luis is a hairstylist. Van Damme comes into the salon. Luis is like, I'm a new hire. I'm being watched. And it's like the manager's watching him. I thought that was pretty funny as well. Them getting serious. They talk about the whole situation, the agency using them, like the cartel used Luis. And Van Damme's like, I know what you did. Van Damme basically has a heart-to-heart with him, and then he leaves. We're back at Blockbuster. They start fighting / sparring. And Vanessa gets the best of Van Damme. She has a knife at his throat. He's blocking it, but she has one in his gut.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you're ready. So they decide to celebrate with her readiness by having some popcorn with that fake steam.
Yep.
When they open it up.
It was funny because Vanessa was able to unpeel it just fine, and Van Damme was like, ah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, yep. So she asks him, do you remember your first kill? And he tells her it was basically he spooked some old dude who had a heart attack, and he tried giving him CPR and broke all his ribs. And it basically tells her you just get used to it. They also have their own heart-to-heart where they both say that they're ready. Van Damme finds himself in, like, the back room, staff room, or a bathroom. I don't know.
I think it was a bathroom.
Looking in the mirror. And I was trying to remember, because, spoiler alert of my own life, I used to work at a Blockbuster.
Oh, man. A lot of people did.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people I know used to work at a Blockbuster.
Whereas we are connected, our friendship, whereas we've both worked in some movie-related business.
Yep. We both have a background in show business.
I don't remember too much about, like, the Blockbuster staff bathroom, because they did have... did they have... I don't know if they really even had restrooms for at the one I worked at, if they had any for the customers.
Hollywood Video had a restroom. That was my go-to.
Oh, yeah. I think
they had a great horror section.
I think oh yeah, dude. They did for a franchise place. They did. Blockbuster might have, but like it was always kind of like out of order, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think we just put extra stock in there.
That's normally how it works.
Recall. And yeah, man, there's a reason why they're out of business. Let's just put it that way.
So many reasons.
Yeah, that's true. Quite a few reasons. So he looks in the mirror, and Jane's voicemail plays in his mind. He's saying he has to go into his own head, basically. And he ends up doing it.
Yep,
He's in his own head.
Spiritual journey.
Yep. Faces from the past are all around him, basically like a white-roomed cafeteria. His friends, the women that loved him.
The penguin mascot from...
Sudden Death?
Yep, from Sudden Death.
The men he's killed. Yeah, there's a few. Like, there was like the Chun-Li dressed up, you know, in there. And
no Kylie Minogue.
No, yeah, they made sure that there's no Kylie Minogue there. Van Damme finds himself in the emu field looking at his young self. The young Van Damme says he has something to tell him, and he whispers it in his ear. And the next scene, Jane is going through her vinyl. She plays the Put a Spell on You. Doorbell rings. It's Van Damme with a bunch of security guards surrounding him with guns pointing at him. She basically says, hey, would you like some toilet wine? She got it from Rikers. Cost her a lot of money for this bottle of toilet wine. And he cuts to the chase. He gets down to it. She basically tells him, you know, the world is chaos. Dragon was stupid for wanting to take over it with this weather control device. And how basically he was sitting on an empire that he already had and he wasn't utilizing it, so they took him out so that they could. And Van Damme's like, how long? How long have you been using me? And Jane says, like, she never switched over. She's basically always been using him. There are no heroes, JC. If anything went sideways, no one is going to miss JCVD. Ouch.
Yep.
Well, that's where she's wrong.
That's right. There's
two
right
people
here
that we know.
Disagree vehemently.
So he says he needs to do what's right. She kind of offers him kind of like the same offer that she made to the director, and is like, let's get you famous again, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, I need to do what's right. She's like, well, that's a pity. She tells her security that a visitor has overstayed his welcome. He talks about a brief time period where he was taking some time off, and he talked to another agent who wanted to get him, like an agent friend, and he's like discussing over a small batch of Japanese toilet wine brewed in a POW Japanese camp from World War II, over 75 years old. And, you know, that was just like a little funny tidbit line. Well, meanwhile, Luis is there and he's killing all these dudes. He pulls his hood off and like pulls his mask down, and he's got his dragon tattoo across his face and his head shaved.
Yeah. He looks really weird with his head shaved.
Dude, it was absolutely crazy. Hilarious. Vanessa comes in. They have the weather control device, which is basically a Nintendo 64 controller.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. Jane somehow escapes. They run out of the house. They go to the tennis court where they see it's opening up to a helicopter underneath it. And Vanessa's like, there's no way to stop her. Yes, there is. My gift. No way. The world needs its hero, JC. I know. I'm looking at her.
Oh, that's a great line right there.
So he plans to stop the doors opening with the splits. We see that Christina is with Jane. And basically, Jane's like, you could have been her. You could have been on her side. And Christina kind of backs it up and is like, when doing my hair, you could be standing right next to me. But now you're standing opposite of me. And they start to fight. And it's a cool fight between the two of them.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Van Damme is doing the splits, holding the doors as much as he can.
This time it was him doing the splits, I think.
I know. It did look like it. It did look like it was.
I mean, it was like a green screen.
Right, yeah.
But it looked like he was doing the splits.
Yeah. We got a boot shot, like a foot shot. The only thing that I wish is that when he was doing it, that the bottom of it said Wolverine to give props. Like, that's the only thing, like, I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing some other... other reference there, but like immediately when they shot the foot, all I could think of was, what does it say? Wolverine? Read between the lines. I should get the fuck out of here. I just kind of wanted more props to Time Cop, I guess. So anyway, it looks like both of them are going to fail. Van Damme's like trembling. Meanwhile, Jane's getting her butt kicked by Christina. Van Damme flashes back to the inside of his head with his kid self. Jane is getting the helicopter ready as Christina is about to take that side to Vanessa's throat, and she fights back. Van Damme's in his mind. The gears are starting to spark up. Vanessa kills Christina. Jane is about to shoot Van Damme. Vanessa roundhouse kicks the gun out of her hands. And she says, "You made him a monster, but now he is himself." And Jane's like, "They say there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women." And Vanessa's like, "I know. I'll see you there." And she takes Jane out. We're back in that little flashback inside Van Damme's head where Van Damme's young self says, "I love you." And Van Damme cries, lets out a sigh of relief. And we're back on the tennis court where he stops the tennis court doors from opening and then falls over.
Yeah. You also hear a sickening snap
Oh,
noise.
yeah, man, yeah, yep. And I think it was Luis asked him, "What now?" And Van Damme says, "Now I live." And it's 3 months later, Van Damme is in a wheelchair at a newly refurbished, renovated orphanage, the Wilhelm School, except now it's like the memorial, the Jean-Claude Van Damme Memorial. And Vanessa's like, "Memorial means you're dead, right?" And Van Damme's like, "JCVD is dead, but JCVV is alive, and it's nice to meet you." And they're all kind of like laughing and stuff, and then all of a sudden time stops. And then these 3 people come out of nowhere. It looks like a young Jane.
Yeah.
A cyborg Luis, and a crazy looking like Vanessa, like 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, like Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil
She had like
looking-
giant shoulder pads.
Yeah, man. Talking about the time war coming, and then it ends. And then that's it.
Oh man.
And that's it, man. That's the end of it.
That is the end.
That's how Jean-Claude Van Johnson ends. So I liked it because it ends on like, hey, if the series never renews, it's kind of funny. And you're just like, all right, play with what's in your mind. How's it go? It gives you a full story, and then you can take or leave it.
Yeah. One side note, Jean-Claude Van Damme is really good at playing a person with atrophied legs when he's in the wheelchair at the end.
Yeah, man.
His legs were all like, they looked like they were like atrophied.
I know.
Like, the way he was
Yeah.
sitting.
Yeah. It really, like, there's small little details in here that, like, if you don't pay attention, you don't catch, or, it's like some really great stuff. So
I just pray to God that this show gets picked up for another season.
I
I
hope
think
so,
it will,
man.
because it's gotten really good reviews.
I hope so. Yeah. It's on IMDb. It's a solid 8.0 out
Yeah.
of 10.
I think that's better than Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better than the Last Jedi
Yep.
right now. So, yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Love it. So funny. What was your favorite scene from episode 6?
I would have to say probably when he says his gift, like when he refers to his ability to splits as his gift. I knew exactly what he was talking about right away because he saw slowly opening platform with like 2 little places where he could rest his feet at to hold it shut. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was great too. That was a good spot. Luis coming out with the dragon tattoo on his face and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny as well. That was a good little spot as well. Very, very fun ending.
Doing Hurricane Ranas while slitting people's throats.
Yeah, man. Yeah, having some fun at it. Oh, dude, it was what a thrill.
Yep.
So I guess that gets us into basically our split scale, man. We finally get to our split scale on this. What would you give it?
Perfect 10. Like, if I could give it 11, I would. It's just, I would say this is probably my favorite thing he's done. Like, it's just so good. Like, I wish I could have grown up watching this. I would have loved it even more. Like, I love this show to death. It's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Cannot highly recommend it enough.
Yeah, it was absolutely, I agree with you. Perfect 10. What a fun little series. There might be some continuity errors or whatnot, but that's bound to happen. Nothing out there that really took me away from it.
Well, I mean, there's time travel in the show.
Right, exactly.
You could just explain it that way.
Yep. Yeah, there's just some fun stuff with it, and it's just absolutely, honestly, usually IMDb has like their goofs and whatnot. I don't see their goofs on this.
Show hasn't been out for too long though. So.
Yeah. Well, it's perfect. So.
Yep.
There you go. But yeah, Peter Atencio did a great job. They said the series writing credits: David Callahan, Ashley Wigfield, Vinnie Wilhelm. Well, maybe that's where they get the Wilhelm school at. Maybe they gave it to him. Kevin Costello and Wes Took. Oh, Van Damme doesn't have any writing credits in this.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Maybe
Anyway,
he just wanted to be uncredited.
Maybe he's that humble of a dude.
Yep.
He was just like, you know what? No.
Did you search for Van Varenberg?
Yeah, no, right. Oh, since the last time I looked at the trivia, there's just a little bit more. There's not a lot of trivia to this. And I said I would wait till the end with some of the stuff that we would talk about it. Trivia-wise, let's just get into it. It began development in 2013 when Van Damme approached Scott Free Productions with an idea of creating an hour-long action drama. Dave Callahan later refined the idea into a half-hour action comedy to create something new and fresh. In semi-futuristic RPG settings like Shadowrun and Cyberpunk 2020, the name Johnson, as Mr. Johnson, is frequently used as aliases by corporate men who hire people, mercenaries, to perform black ops for the companies or governments. Peter Atencio is an Emmy Award and Peabody Award-winning director and producer known for helming every episode of Comedy Central's sketch series Key and Peele.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I know we kind of briefly mentioned that before. And
That's right.
He did the Keanu movie with basically Key and Peele.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Never did get to see that.
Yeah, I wanted to as well. Writer and executive producer David Callahan also created the action movie series The Expendables.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
6 degrees of Van Damme.
Yeah. Director Peter Atencio had originally contemplated turning the project down because he was in post on his film Keanu. That's where he did Keanu.
So glad he didn't.
I know. When the movie is being shot in Bulgaria, there are artist trailers with Bulgarian writing in the same font used by Star Wagons, the largest artist trailer provider in Hollywood. That's new. I didn't read that last time. Executive producer Ridley Scott is one of the world's foremost directors and producers, best known for his works on films such as Thelma and Louise, Alien, Black Hawk Down, and Blade Runner. I had no clue that Ridley Scott executive produced this.
I didn't either.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. In 1995, Ridley Scott founded Scott Free Productions to serve as a production company for his film and television projects, including features Man on Fire, American Gangster, and Concussion. So that's it. I expected a little bit more trivia. Maybe later on down the line we'll get more trivia on it.
Hopefully when season 2 comes out, we'll be able to have a rich treasure trove of trivia.
Yeah, man. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
Just fun.
So glad this got made.
Yeah, me too, man.
It got, the pilot was good.
Yeah.
And then it just got better and better.
Yeah, exactly. It really did. Now, I mean, imagine if Amazon didn't pick up any of those 3.
I know.
Just what would have been.
I love The Tick, too. The Tick was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't see the other one. I've heard
I know,
we
talk about it. I love Dick. It's, I was just happy. Amazon's been pretty good about their series actually having other seasons, so I hope for the best with this. They've been doing a lot of promotion for it.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned in the last episode, I believe, that I said they had been going around the world. I know Van Damme's huge basically everywhere besides, not as big in America as he used to be, but, he's huge everywhere else. And I know he did, an Italy premiere for it, and he did, an Asian premiere for it, and I actually caught on YouTube. He was in France for it.
Ooh.
And there was some French YouTuber, big star, that he came in and he talked with him and his buddy. It was a huge Van Damme friend, and his friend brought Van Damme on as a surprise to his buddy. And so, they talked about it. It was all in French, so I had really no clue what was going on.
We have to learn French.
I tell you what, I took a year of it in college.
Regretted it immediately.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? This isn't American English. Huh?
Can't understand a damn word of this.
No, these aren't freedom fries. No. I actually was kind of surprised at some of, how I thought I lost all of it, but it's the small stuff, obviously, I can remember, so some of it I actually was like, wow, I can tell what he's kind of saying. And so, it was really, I was expecting it to get deep, but I guess it goes about, as deep as our conversations.
So,
it's not terribly deep. We don't get into big,
no one started crying.
25-cent words and stuff. Well, the dude almost did start crying, it seemed like, when he met his idol.
Who could
And
blame
then Michelle Kesey was there, too. He was like, oh, no way!
If you ever wanted to do that to me, that would be great, too, for an episode.
Actually.
Oh, no, it's the police.
Oh, taking you away, buddy. All right, so Man, there was some great stuff here, and I think I was telling you off.
Yeah, you were telling me off.
I was telling you off. Once again, when the mics aren't hot.
Oh yeah. It gets hot in a different way.
There was some. There was, they were doing some setup for a lot of the interviewers and whatnot, where they were in the same room. It was Kat Foster and Van Damme, and then different interviewers, and they all got like 5 minutes each, and it's all on YouTube and stuff, so you can hear some great interviews with them. And in one of them, the person said, like, you guys have like a good relationship on screen. You did well. And, Kat's just basically talking about it. And she says something along the lines of, yeah, she's like, we really have I would say we had a good chemistry. And Van Damme kind of like corrects her. He's like, chemistry is probably not the right word for it. And, it's just kind of funny because like they don't want to say chemistry. Like you could see like she's trying to think she's like chemistry because everyone kind of is like, oh, romantic, huh? And you can tell
you're banging.
Like, yeah, he's like, no, I have a wife now. Like my wife finally came back to me after all the shit that I did to her. I don't want to, say something like that. So, but
that's a tip. It's a common word when you're describing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the fact that you guys can share something fun, you make it look like there's one thing, it's one thing when people are friends, but a lot of actors and actresses can be acquaintances and whatnot, or maybe not have even met with one another before, or haven't worked with one another before,
and they just click.
Exactly. And it did seem like that. It's like we've seen Van Damme with some of these other love interests in his films, or not even love interests, but just these secondary characters where it just seems plain, and it sometimes seems awkward, like the one with
Rob Schneider.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Rip-off.
Yeah. What was the one that we just reviewed with the girl who's like crying? She gets she gets beaten, and he's like a mercenary assassin or whatever.
What was the name of that? That shows what an amazingly memorable movie it was.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, October Sky. That's what it was. Oh, jeez.
That was the one before Six Bullets, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that right before Six Bullets? Or
no, man. It was it Assassination Games? Was that the one? Yeah, it was Assassination Games. Yeah. Yeah, because that is kind of like awkward between the two of them, and you didn't know what this girl was supposed to be. October, that was her name. That's right. Yeah. Now that that's over, it's kind of sad. It's like we've done a lot. We said we were getting to the end of our Van Damme run here. We did a bunch of his cameos later on in life.
We're already up to 2013.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually next up is Six Bullets 2012, but if you guys already didn't know, we already recorded that. We stopped. We haven't played that one yet. It's because Van Johnson came out, so we wanted to get that done and out of the way and strike while the iron was hot, and we did that. We absolutely loved it. And we hope there's more to it. And Six Bullets is next, where he plays Samson Gall. And it's a 2012 rated R, hour and 55-minute action crime drama.
Back into it.
Ooh, man. So, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I'm kind of sad because we were gifted with such a terrific series, and now we're kind of going back to these direct-to-video movies that Van Damme is making.
Back to slogging.
So, it's like, don't get me wrong, we still love Van Damme movies, and some of these are actually pretty good.
Yeah, we found some diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, so, I'll be excited to talk about some of them, but some of them, they're going to be direct to video. So,
and for a good reason.
All right. I think that about wraps it up. Is there anything else you want to talk about with this? Now ending? No. Okay. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed that. We enjoyed doing it as always. It's been fun. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this. So we hope you enjoyed it. Patreon.com/podbros. Amazon on our page, podbros.com. Scroll down, hit that Amazon button. Doesn't cost you anything.
Nope. You can buy your Pop-Tarts and coconut water with it.
That's right.
And issues of, was it Variety?
Variety.
Yep.
And it helps us out with you doing that. Gives us a little bit of a kickback. Helps us keep the lights on in the studio. That's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We truly appreciate it. I am John.
And I am Jeff.
And you've been listening to the last episode of the special edition of the Jean-Claude Van Johnson Jean Pod Van Dam cast.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Again and again.
Kobe. Now, I live.
What's going on, everyone? It is John here. I figured I would end this episode talking about the latest updates of what happened. Well, in case you haven't heard, Amazon decided not to renew Jean-Claude Van Johnson. I know. I was just surprised as well. It really is a bummer. Really enjoyed the show, but at least we got 6 episodes of what we have now. So until next time, or if Netflix decides to pick it up, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you got to enjoy Jean-Claude Van Johnson. And thanks for listening to another episode of the Jean Pod Van Dam cast.